So welcome back to all you retro bikers, and it's another class review video of the 70s and the 80s, and it's just straightforward really. I try and remember all the bikes and then you put me right in the comments which ones I've missed off. And keep in mind there's a lot made during this period. We had a few in the 70s, but by the 80s, because of the law change, we had a lot of bikes made from all the major manufacturers, and I'm hoping to get them all, but if I miss any off, please comment below. And thanks again for all your support on the channel, and I really hope you enjoy the video.
Well, you always take a risk on the bike. You enjoy your risk though, that's the best thing about it. You enjoy it. I do anyway. Bank road corners a bit too fast. It's council's fault really if you come off running.
So from the beginning of the 70s we had a TL125 from Honda. Quite rare these, I've never really seen them for many years, but I've seen a lot of these, the XL125, which is the later model. The Roadster, they did a CG125 and a CB125, and both of them were single. In fact, they're all singles. And then by the late 70s, they had the CB125 Twin, a very popular bike, excellent engine. And I think they used this engine in the CM125, which was the cruiser, maybe in the Benelli 125, quite a rare bike as well, and definitely in this, and it's the Super Dream 125 around 83. Now they also still did a single, which was a CB125 RS, and there was a single with another off-roader, but this was a two-stroke, and that was the MTX 125. And then the top of the sort of range for roadsters were the MBX 125, liquid cooled, and a real race bike. Excellent bike. So a great Yamaha range. The singles made in the 70s were the RS and the RX, and they're like commuter type bikes, but very, very popular and affordable. The sports versions, they started with the RD, and they were twins, and they ran really straight through into the 80s. And what a great range, great colours, and just a very desirable bike. And this was my favourite, which is the LC version. But they also made a race replica, which was the TZR, and it was a full-blown race bike really. It looked fantastic. So the Yamaha had a big following, a cult following, and it started in the 70s with the DT version, and I've just displayed two here, one from the 70s and one from the 80s. Such a massive range of specifications. But they also did a four-stroke in the 80s called the XT125, and I'm guessing that they used the same engine in the cruiser, the SR125, which ran for many years after. So Suzuki's off-roaders during the 70s was the TS, and it was a single two-stroke. And by the early 80s we had massive changes. We had the ER in 1980, and then we followed by two different models of the TS125X, which was a great leap in technology. But they also did a DR version, which is a four-stroke, and these bikes were direct competition for the Honda and the Yamaha. So Suzuki road bikes. Now I've only got four, and I've got the GT125 from the 70s, and it's a two-stroke and it's a twin. And then the 80s, again a sports bike, is the RG. Now this is obviously a liquid cooled, and it's a single, and it's a race replica. Quite rare, I should imagine. And then we've got the first of the restricted, and it's a GS125 from the early 80s. And then we've got a cruiser. Now this is a GN, but I think they might have made a couple of type versions using this four-stroke. So the last two are both four-strokes. So Kawasaki, during the 1970s, they did an off-roader called the KE125. And it was quite a small bike really, but it was a great handling bike, and it had a very good, reliable two-stroke engine. And by the early 80s, ready for the 125 law, they made a Mark II version, and it was just a slightly bigger and just looked a bit better in my opinion. and that run all the way to 87 when they went a really serious off-roader with the KMX 125, and this had all the technology of the time on this bike. It was a really good bike. So around 1975, Kawasaki made a road bike called the KH, and this was a two-stroke single, and it had an unbelievable production run. It ran all the way to 1998, and really it just changed cosmetically. And this third picture is one of the last ones made, but again, a very cool bike and very affordable. They also made an AR 125, and this was like a sports bike, and it really looked a very smart bike, and again it had all the latest technology of the time, and it was a very interesting and desirable bike. So Italian scooters, not my strongest subject, but I'm going to give it a go. So this is a 70s PX 125, and I think they did a P model as well, and very popular, and a two-stroke single. And by the 80s they brought out this one, which is a T5 version, and it came out about the same time as the 125 Law, different styling but still a two-stroke. And then this is a very early version. This is a 70s version of a Lambretta. Now Lambrettas, as far as they went out of business sometime in the 70s, and they fetch premium money today, so they must be very desirable. So Italian motorcycles. Now I don't know if I can say some of these names, but I'm going to give them a go. And I think this is called the Marini. I hope I've got it right. I can say this one, it's Cagiva. And then we had Gilera. And none of these sold in massive numbers, but they certainly sold them. And they're very different in looks to the Japanese motorcycles of the time. So that wraps the video up, but I've got 3 more, and I need some comments please on these. And the first one is an MZ, and I think it's an Eastern German bike, and they certainly made these and sold them in the UK as like a commuter type bike. And the same as this one, it's a CZ, and I think they were made in Czechoslovakia, and I think they had a slightly better engine for whatever reason. And then this one, and it looks a good bike, it's a Kreidler, I believe, and it's from West Germany. And again, I don't know much about these. I've never seen one, but be very interesting if somebody knows anything about them. So anyway, I hope you've really enjoyed my video, and please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.